let's say if you're in a conference, if you meet somebody new, okay, or if you go to a place, and if you are let's say there is a talk show, the talk show is hosted by the PM, and all of you are in one room, which means that talk show and the PM is your common ground, right? So you'll find something common which has got you to this place, and you talk. So for example, if you have gone to a doctor's place and you're in the waiting room, so the doctor's place becomes a common ground. So you may say that, oh, how did you find this doctor? Oh, have you been waiting for long? Right? So you have a common ground. First and foremost is you find a common ground and make small talk. Anything. How are you? How is it? How is the weather going on? Blah blah blah, and all of those things. Right? Now, the second thing that you do a generic conversation, listen to the people. When they are saying something, listen to them, right? Pay attention to what they're saying. And then you be curious and ask. You can forward, you can then ask take the conversation forward by asking those questions. Okay, cool. Now, whenever you're talking, there are certain topics that you should not be talking about, right? What could they be? What could they be? What do you guys think? What are the things that you do not talk with strangers? Or for that matter,
Personal life.
yes, personal life. What can be something in the personal life? Give me examples. I'm sorry.
Family issue.
Yeah, family issues. What else?
Problems. Any problem we
Any
don't talk about.
problems, right? Height, weight, color, race, right? Their sexual orientation. Yeah, you would not be talking about their relationship. Are you married? Are you not? Like in India, it's very common to ask, are you married or not married? It's a common question, but usually you don't ask. You don't ask these questions. Do you have kids? You don't ask because you never know. Why do we not ask these questions? For example, if I meet somebody and I just say, oh, do you have kids? Like, oh, you're married, do you have kids? Now you never know if that person has been trying to conceive for so long and they're not able to do it. You're just hurting the person. So you don't ask anything that is personal unless you know the person that well, unless you are friends with that person, right? So when you're having a conversation, personal things are out of your boundary. You do not talk about their height, their weight, their orientation, their age, or their relationship status, or what it is, even their finances, their salaries. What is what is your salary? You don't ask that question. What is your age? You don't ask that questions. Those are strictly off, out of bounds. Okay, strictly off limits. What else could be some things that you should not be asking?
Hobby.
Where are you live?
Should not be asking, not be asking. Hobbies is something that you can ask. You can always. I asked you the first day, right?
Always
Hobbies you can ask, not a problem. So something that you should avoid is
I think we also talk about their qualification and their
That
you can
comes
ask
under
that.
important.
Where did you study? You can ask that. If have you studied till where? You can ask that. That's fine. But something that is off limits is religion. You don't talk
Yeah.
about religion. You don't talk about politics. Am I BJP, Congress, leftist, Marxist? You don't do. So religion, politics, gender sensitive issues, you don't talk about those, right? Unless you know the person well, right? Sexuality, no. Finances, no. Personal things, no. And health, also no. You don't, like, for example, if you see, for example, if I am I have a burn mark on my face, right? Now when you see me, that is the most obvious thing, but you don't ask, hey, ye kya hua? You don't go and do that, right? And it's very rude to stare also at a person. It's very rude to stare at someone with a special or who's special ability person, right? You don't do that. So these are the things that you don't talk about, right? What are the safe things that you can talk about? One, Neetaji said hobbies. Absolutely. You can obviously ask, what is your hobby?
Occupation.
Yes, you can talk about what profession do you belong? Are you working or not? Are you a homemaker or not? You can definitely do that. What else?
Mm, As per the place, we can ask questions like you mentioned, like doctor,
Yeah, but health we will
From the
not
reason.
ask. We will not ask why are you here. For
We
example,
can
if you,
ask for suggestions,
yeah, you can
reviews.
ask how did you find this doctor. That is a different thing. But you will not ask about their health. भाई आप यहाँ पे क्यों आए हो? ये नहीं पूछोगे. That is very personal. Okay, that will not ask. So you can talk about current events. Let's say, for example, demonetization was a huge thing. Everybody talked about it. So you can talk about that. Right now, the current event is that India winning how many medals, Olympic medals, right? So Neeraj Chopra becomes a common topic. You can talk about art, you can talk about craft, you can talk about movies. What movies are you a movie buff? Did you talk about movies? The weather is like the most boring and the most obvious. Everybody talks about weather, right? If you have nothing else, then you go to weather. मतलब अगर आपको कुछ भी सूझ नहीं रहा हो, you cannot think of anything, then go to the weather. Oof, how hot is it? Oof, how humid it is. Oh, it has been raining for so long. Oh, it is cloudy. It's the safest bet, but it's the most boring bet also. But then you can talk about sports, books, theater,
Books.
travel. I'm sorry, what?
Yes, books. Sorry.
Yeah, books. Yes, books. What books do you read? Are you interested in a particular genre of book? Do you read thriller or movies also? What kind of movies do you watch? Do you like animated movies? Do you like horror movies? You can ask of all of these things. What hobbies do you have? Someone might say gardening, and then you can say, oh, even I like gardening. What kind of gardening do you do? What kind of plants do you have? Right? Painting, what kind of paints do you do? What are the artists that you like? What medium do you use to paint? Right? All these are safe topics, but you don't talk about religion, politics, sexual orientation, finances, health, anything that is very personal. You don't talk about these things. You talk about movie, food. Talk about food, right? It's such a big topic. You talk about food. Where do you have anything? What cuisines do you like? What have you tried? What is the best restaurant available? Oh, I like non-veg food. Where do you think I can get non-veg food? Or I like veg food. Which is the best restaurant around? You can ask all of these things. All of these things: art, movie, food, painting, hobbies, craft, current events, sports, book, theater. All of these things are there. And the most boring thing, like if you can't think of anything, then go to weather becomes your safe spot, right? Oh, it's sunny. Oh, it's rainy. Of course it is sunny and rainy, whatever it is, right? Cool. So basic conversations: when you meet someone, of course you greet someone, you just look at them, you smile, you listen to them with interest. Start with a how are you, or hi, or how has your day been. How has your day been can backfire sometimes if the person is really having a bad day, but how are you can always say. And then you can start with, hey, what movie did you watch, or did you see so for example, if the Olympics has just happened, oh, did you happen to follow, do you follow sports, or if IPL is going on, do you follow IPL, did you watch the last match, anything. Cool. So that's how you can have a conversation. Remember what things you can ask, remember what things you don't ask, remember, and stay away from personal things, please. In the first meeting, or in a group of people where you do not really know them well, you do not talk about these things. Cool. Makes
Ma'am,
sense?
I want to ask one question.
Yes.
Like I observe, like sometimes we are asking regarding their work. So sometimes people are like they are shaming or type of thing, like they don't want to tell regarding their work. Sometimes, not rarely,
Yeah.
like not regularly. So ma'am, shall we ask their work?
It's
or not?
okay. You can ask, what do you do? So if they want to talk about work, they will say work. If they don't want to talk about work, then they'll say, oh, I don't do anything, I have a kid to take care of, right? Or oh, I work with blah 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 company. Or someone may say, oh, I'm a doctor. Or someone might say, I'm an engineer. Or someone who does not want to talk about work might say, oh, these days I do nothing, right? Because a lot of people have been laid off too. Because of COVID, a lot of people lost their jobs. So maybe job is not something that you want to go. You can just ask, how do you pass your day? What do you do on your weekend? How was your weekend? That's a very safe question, right? Instead of going to work, you can ask that, oh, what do you do on weekends, right? So you can always build upon conversations. Now, for example, when you say, how was your weekend? So someone would say, oh my God, weekend was such a relief because Monday to Friday I have a job. So then you can ask, because this person has given you the opening of saying that there is a job. So then you can ask about job. Oh, do you work? Where do you work? Blah, blah, blah. And then you continue. Now, if it is a mom, let's say, for example, I have a friend who just delivered twins, and then she's left the job and she's so busy with the kids, like, twins, like you have one kid and it's really difficult. And then this person has twins. So if I ask her, how was her weekend or what did you do on the weekend? She just, stares at me and she wants to kill me, because it doesn't matter with small kids, no day matters. So she said, her answer was, I really do not know what day of the week it is, so please don't ask me about a weekend. Right? So it depends upon. So that's the reason you have to be very attentive when you're talking to them, that and then look for what opening they are giving. Right? Someone when you say that, what do you do these days? So someone might say they do nothing. Then you can go to movies or painting or hobby or plants or whatever you want. Right? If they say they do nothing, which means they have not said whether they are employed or not. So we don't want to go there. We just say that, oh, okay. Do you watch movies? Do you like watching movies? Did you go to a what was the last movie that you watched? Or you can say, do you watch shows? Do you follow Big Boss? Do you watch whatever is the current show, Roadies or whatever? I mean, depending upon what age you are and what genre you watch, right? So it could be anything. So, and then build up from what they give the clue. Right? So it should be now let's say, for example, if I'm asking someone that, what did you do? And the person is like, oh, I didn't do anything. I had a job. And then if I immediately go to say, oh, which movie did you watch? It doesn't make any sense, right? Like, he just said about the job. So can I not ask something about the job and build on the conversation from there? So you let the other person give you clues, give you openings, so that you use those things and go up. Cool? Make sense? Any questions? Any doubts? No? All good? How come?
All good.
How come? Okay.
Yeah, but it's opposite in Haryana basically. Na, here we go to outskirts or countrysides. Everybody is talking about politics or religion.
Yes. It's a very common thing in India to do. It's a very, what do you call? Not so great practice, because it's an individual choice, right? Now, for example, you may be at Haryana, but if you're coming from a similar state or similar region, then you may know each other and then you talk about it, right? Like, there's this group of people who might hate the prime minister, and then there's a group of people who might love the prime minister. And imagine one person who's hating the prime minister asking the other person, oh, Modi ji kitne achhe hai, and then the other person is like, japat, right? So you don't do that. So it's a risky thing. I'm not saying that you cannot talk about those. If the other person is interested and you are okay with it, you go ahead and talk. That's okay. But these are the things that you do not talk in the first conversation for meeting somebody totally new. Right? Just avoid it.
Yeah, I
Of
got
course.
that. I was saying that
Yeah.
it's happening in
A
Haryana.
lot of times, and I'm telling you, a lot of times it's very okay to ask. Not very okay. Very okay is a bad usage of word. It's quite okay to ask somebody whether you are married or not. Like, that's the first question that comes up, and that's a very generic interview question. It's a very offensive one. Nobody should be asking, right? And a lot of times when you go to interview, people ask about, oh, you got married, right? Especially if it is a female, you got married, or what about family planning? None of your business, right? Those are not the kind of questions you should be asking. What about family planning? No, I'm not going to discuss my family planning plans with you. You are an employer. You just employ me for whatever reason, right? So those are the things that are coming up now. Earlier it was very normal kind of a thing to ask these questions. Now it is not. I mean, it was never not, but now people are getting aware of it. Cool. So basics of conversations here: listen, open with the safe topics, let them give you the clues and then build upon it. And whenever you want to pass a compliment, do pass compliments. Everybody loves to hear compliments, right? I mean, if I tell, hey, Sagar, you're looking good today, blue suits you. Or, hey, Ashwini, your collared t-shirt is great. Or, hey, Purnima, the specs on you really look nice. Or, hey, Neetaji, your mehndi is amazing. If I say all of these things, and I do mean all of these things, okay? So you always obviously feel good, right? I am telling you things that are making you good. So you can always compliment people. Compliments always work. Cool?
Yeah.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, great. So, yesterday's words, let's discuss those. Who were able to find out the meanings? And how was that? How did that go? I've not taken notes, my bad. But do you guys remember what words we had yesterday? I know ruminant was a word,
Yes.
somebody gave the wrong meaning in the group.
Intimidate, curve, and
Yes,
Ruminant. Ruminant.
yes.
Um,
Ruminant was there, intimidate was there. So whomsoever is
Perplexed.
finding, I'm sorry, perplexed, perplexed.
Perplexed. Sorry.
Yes.
Ellie.
I'm sorry,
Ellie.
Alice.
Ellie's. Okay, we'll discuss that today. All right, you guys all have Google also, right, in front of you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want you to put in the word, the first word that I want you to put is ALL.